News of the Shanglin hunting ground incident couldn't hidden. Almost everyone learned of the Xiling princess death and second, Miss Kiao's sorrow wounds. More over Yun Hang, the world renowned divine doctor, whom few had the fortune to meet, had arrived at Shanglin hunting ground to detoxify second Miss Zhou. Guer Lisheng was chatting with several noble ladies, but without much enthusiasm. I heard that divine doctor Yun Hang, who's as elusive as a dragon, is currently at Shanglin hunting ground. I'd love to see him in person. They say he's strong, but incredibly skilled, able to bring the dead back to life and heal fatal wounds. Too bad the divine doctor is in the palace lodge. We can't enter. I'd love to see him too. Minister Kiao is truly capable, managing to invite the divine doctor whom so many have sought in vain, envy second miss. Kiao, if it were Minister Kiao's daughter, I'd be overjoyed. But it was first miss Kiao who invited divine Dr. Yun. Indeed, first Miss Zhou did, this morning. I saw her lead a white, robed men to the palace lodge. The man looked extraordinary. He must be divine Dr. Yun. First Miss Zhou? She knows divine Dr. Yun? Who would have guessed? As the saying goes, a barking dog never bites. Everyone covered their mouths to laugh. Sister, you really need to study more. It's hidden capabilities. Someone spotted Kiao Yihuan in the distance and approached her. Others followed. Greetings Kiao Yihuan, warm lie and flattering her, practically wearing their desire to be her friend for access to Yun Hang's connections on their faces. Guer Lisheng didn't follow. She stood still, watching the scene. People who swayed Ed with the winds were the most detestable, since she had chosen to side with Miss Second Zhou. She wouldn't approach now. Accompany me to the small kitchen. I went to make lotus seed soup for second miss myself. Her maid immediately agreed. The afternoon weather was pleasant. Yun Hang pushed Kiao Wanyan in a wood and wheelchair through the palace lodge's back garden, the garden pallid, in comparison to the imperial garden, or even the Kiao family's garden. But compared to the stuffy palace, Kiao Wanyan found it agreeable. The fresh air, gentle sun, and breeze blowing through blooming flowers lifted her spirits. Yan Yao fed fish by the lake, not far away. Sister Yanyan, is Sister Ziyuan really all right? Kiao Wanyan had learned of Ziyuan's unconscious state, though unclear on the details. Seeing the blood on Ziyuan's hand, she could guess what had happened. Ziyuan was devoted to her and like Lai tried to kill Kiao Yihuan when they were alone. But even when she had injured Kiao Yihuan indirectly, she had fainted. Ziyuan, who had acted directly, would surely be unconscious longer. Nothing serious. She's probably exhausted from lack of rest and anxiety these days. Yun Hang said, her pulse is normal. A good sleep should wake her soon. Don't worry with me here. She'll be fine. Kiao Wanyan smiled softly. I always feel at ease with you. I didn't know why. Maybe just because you always trusted me, making me feel safe. Her tone was calm, turning the slightly ambiguous words into something straightforward, devoid of awkwardness. A warm current surged in Yun Hang's heart. He took out a handkerchief to wipe his hands, then fed her a piece of osmanthus cake. Kiao Wanyan bit into it calmly. After your travels, you never left Medicine Master Valley, not even for the most powerful figures. Did you leave now for me? Yun Hang replied. I didn't meet first Miss Zhou when she came. It was her escort who said you needed my help that I led her. And she had your token. I was unsure if she was lying, but I couldn't take the risk. Asterisk, what if she was telling the truth? What if Wanyan was really injured? Asterisk, Yun Hang explained meticulously. as if unwilling to let her misunderstand. Kia Wanyan smiled. "Ikno, you're good to me. You're my best friend. We don't need so many explanations." Jong Kian arrived then. Friends? She had also called the Xiling heir apparent good friends. She had so many good friends. Watching Yun Heng feed her osmanthus cake with endless patience, Zhang Qiyun felt an inexplicable pang of loss. He didn't realize his emotions could be swayed by a single scene. A light cough drew their attention. Kiao Wanyan glanced at him and looked away. Ignoring him, Yun Heng also glanced at him and returned to feeding her. The breeze blew, leaving Zhang Qian, a tall young man, feeling like a joke, ignored, invisible. The feeling of being ignored was unpleasant. How he shuffled to face them. "Why are you ignoring me?" The childish outburst made Kiao Wanyan rolled her eyes. "Why should we? Are you some hotshot?" Zhang Qian pressed his lips, speaking softly after a long pause. "I'm sorry, I has failed to protect you." The voice was as quiet as a mosquito's. Only Kiao Wanyan standing close heard it. She didn't blame him. He had tried his best. No one expected so many assassins to swarm in. He wasn't a god, but she still rubbed her ear. "What did you say?" "I didn't hear." Zhang Qian blushed. After a pause, he repeated, "I said I'm sorry. I failed to protect you." Kia Wanyan frowned. "What? Speak up." He gritted his teeth. "I said I'm sorry." She shook her head. "It still can't hear. Louder." "I'm sorry." His shout drew stares from afar, even halting the Empress procession. Zhang Qi. Yun's face turned beet red. Kia Wanyan. "You," Yun Heng said calmly. "I'm Anita who speaks he's sight and lie, and then yells at a weak woman for his own mistakes. Lacks gentlemanly grace." Zhang Qian protested. "Can't you see she's teasing me on purpose?" Yun Heng disagreed. "So what if she is? She's just a young girl joking. Can't you take a joke?" Zhang Qiyun looked incredulous. "Ikno, you're the medicine master Valley divine doctor, but others might think you're her father." Yun Heng remained composed. "Unlike you, I'm tolerant. Wanyan is pure-hearted and playful. Even if she wanted to be my father, I wouldn't refuse." Kia Wanyan blinked. Asterisk. Zhang Qian was stunned. Dude. "You might as well worship her. Asterisk. Are you all right?" Zhang Qian finally managed to ask. Though his words betrayed his confusion, Yun Heng remained calm, seemingly unaware of how indulgent his earlier words had sounded. Kiao Wanyan blinked, looking up at Yun Heng's composed expression, and obediently opened her mouth for another piece of osmanthus cake. No one paid Zhang Qian any mind, but he no longer cared. He was meeting someone like Yun Heng for the first time. Today he truly understood the saying, "A barking dog never bites." That morning at the palace lodge, Yun Heng had been taciturn, ignoring even those who greeted at him. Zhang Qiyun had assumed he was cold and reclusive, but when he spoke, he was shocking, willing to kill 1,000 enemies at the cost of thousands of his own to leave. His opponent was speechless, watching Kia Wanyan let Yun Heng fed her with such ease. Zhang Qiyun felt as if his heart were blocked. Unable to breathe, he left, looking thoroughly disillusioned. The area fell silent. Kia Wanyan paused and looked up at Yun Heng. "You think everything Ito is right?" Yun Heng Samed puzzled. "Naturally. Why ask?" "Just curious," she replied. He said evenly, "Though I rarely leave seclusion. I judge people well. You're a pure person." Kia Wanyan looked amazed, but inwardly as oft. Yun Heng isn't great at judging people, or maybe he is. Purely. determined to have the best of everything. Asterisk. It wasn't until news of Ziyuan waking reached Kiao Wanyan that she decided to return. Yun Heng had gone to fetch a cloak, deeming the weather cool. Just then, several young ladies approached from a distance. Kiao Wanyan recognized one as Jin Mao Yun, the youngest daughter of the Minister of Works. Little sister Wanyan is here. We were paying our respects to the Empress and thoughts to check on your injury since you're staying in the palace lodge. Jin Mao Yun spoke first, with others quickly chiming in with flattery. Everyone in the capital knew the Kiao sisters' status. Even if they disliked them, no one would deliberately make an enemy. Kiao Wanyan said lightly, "Much better with Divine Dr. Yun's treatment. Even the world's deadliest state, poison is nothing to fear." Jin Mao Yun smiled. "You're so lucky to have Divine Dr. Yun scared. A heart he never leaves. Seclusion did first miss. Kiao invited him personally?" Kiao Wanyan raised an eyebrow, as if deep in thought. After a moment, she smiled without answering, leading others to assume she had confirmed it. Jin Mai Aoyan sighed. "You don't know. Sister, I've been frail since childhood. Always cold even in spring. No doctor, not even imperial ones, can cure me, if only." Kiao Wanyan showed no sign of responding. Jin Mai Aoyan hesitated, then asked bluntly, "Could you introduce me to Divine Dr. Yun? I'll do anything if you agree." Kiao Wanyan lowered her lashes. Exhaling, "Miss Jin puts me in a difficult position. As you said, my elder sister invited Master Yun. How can he order him to treat you?" Jin Mai Aoyan conceded it made sense. Kiao Wanyan added, "If you truly want Master Yun's help, ask my elder sister." Jin Mao Yun hesitated. She didn't Kiao Yi Huan and disdained speaking to a concubine's daughter approaching as strangers. So boldly felt awkward. Kiao Wanyan pressed on, "My elder sister is kind and helpful. She'll surely introduce you as Minister Qian's loved daughter. She won't disrespect you." Though not close to Jin Mai Aoyan, Kiao Wanyan knew she was vain. Kiao Yi Huan couldn't actually invite Yun Heng, but others said she had, like Lai, because Kiao Yi Huan had deliberately spread the rumor. Word of mouth would carry it. Her father would never claim that. Since Kiao Yi Huan wanted the credit, why not kindly let her have it? Flattered? Jin Mao Yun smiled. "I'll try. Later if first Miss Zhou helps." That would be wonderful. Jin Hun Ying and the others chatted Ted. Bree flew before leaving. Shortly after, Yun Heng returned, draping a cloak over Kiao Wanyan, ready to go back. Or stay a bit longer? He had returned earlier and overheard the conversation. Hiding behind a rockery, he heard it but didn't intend to contradict. "Let's go back. Ziyuan is awake, and I want to see her." Ziyuan, upon waking, went to Kiao Wanyan's palace lodge. Due to her forest injury, the crown prince had accommodated her in Aquiet Lodge, so she didn't need to share with he Beos who and could rest. Miss Ziyuan saw Yun Heng wheeling Kiao Wanyan in shortly after. "Rest well, I'll prepare your post." Dinner decoction. Yun Heng left. Kiao Wanyan nodded, watching him go before turning to Ziyuan. Ziyuan closed the door and said, "Miss, on my way to Medicine Master Valley, I met Kiao Yi Huan returning to the capital. I get ready to strangle her, but I fainted before I could." Ziyuan felt uneasy. The eerie incident made her scalp tingling. She added tentatively, "When you had that barbed arrow shot at Kiao Yi Huan's holder, you fainted too. Dozens of doctors said you were fine." Kiao Wanyan sipped tea without looking up. "You were careless at times, but sharp when it matters." Ziyuan fell silent. No wonder Miss hasn't eliminated Ted Kiaoyi Huan yet. She's tolerated her for so long. It took her a while to process. Why? Is she a demon? Kia Wanyan took a sip of tea. This kind of unimaginable thing is indeed no different from a ghost story. Ziwan. Just remember, never try to kill Kiao Yuan again. At least not now. It's Samed the resentment wasn't enough yet. Though Kiao Yuan harbored ill will, she hadn't taken any truly vicious actions. So the heavens still favored her, or perhaps her accumulated sins were attentive. Xiu An didn't press further, understood. Miss Shi would obey, but it was so frustrating. The enemy was right before her eyes, yet she couldn't harm her at all. Don't breathe a word of this. This servant understands. Gur Lisheng encountered Yun Heng on her way to visiting Kia Wanyan. She stopped, abrupt live from a distance, her heart pounding wildly at the sight of the approaching strangers, a feeling she never experienced before. Dare I ask, sir, do you know where second Miss Zhou is staying? Ivy come to visit her. Yun Heng glanced at the food box in her hand. Go straight ahead and crossing the wined corridor, or his. The gentle voice made Guer Liking's face burn. May I know your name? Forgive my ignorance, but you look unfamiliar. Yun Heng didn't he respond. Walking straight past, Guer Lisheng turned to watching his retreating figure, unable to look away until he vanished. Pressing a hand to her chest, she told her maid, find out who that gentleman is. The maid said he think he must be the Reno. Una divine Dr. Yun, Master Yun? Guer Lisheng repeated, then smiled softly, bowing her head. He's different from all the men I've ever met. Shenqing had just woken up. Yun Yu's knockout drugs was incredibly potent, even applied to daggers. Its effects were overbearing. Waking after such a long faint, his head throbbed painfully, his body as heavy as lead and utterly weak. Highness, you ray awake. Sufei, his personal attendant, rushed over. If several imperial doctors hadn't assured him Shenqing was merely drugged and would wake soon, he would have fetched a doctor from the near street. City, what kind of drugs caused such a long fainting? Shenqing was helped to sit up, wincing slightly as his shoulder wounded tugged. Has Kia Wanyan walk in? Su Fei replied, yes, but she should have walked in earlier. After fainting in the forest, she was shot in the arm by an assassin, sorrowed and poisoned. Shenqing frowned. How did she get shot? Su Fei shook his head. I don't know, but divine Dr. Yun Heng has emerged from seclusion and detoxified her. She's out of danger. Shenqing fell silent, his deep eyes shrouded in mist. Hiding his emotions, Su Fei added, Highness, the princess was unfortunately killed by assassins on the way out of the forest. Shenqing showed no concern. Bring me a cup of tea. After Su Fei served the tea, he opened the palace door. The Highness is awake. Summon a doctor and bring the decoction. A maid nodded, returning shortly with a bowl of decoction. The imperial doctor will be here soon. Please take the decoction first. Highness. Su Fei tested the decoction with a silver needle for poisoning before handing it to Shenqing. Left, the maid withdrew. Shenqing downed the decoction in one gulp. The moment he set the bowl down, excruciating abdominal pain surged like tidal waves, followed by nausea and vomiting. He spat out a mouthful of blood, his paper a white skin taking on a sickly pallor. Highness, what's wrong? The imperial doctor arrived just then, pulled to the bedside by Su Fei. After checking Shenqing's pulse, he said slowly amid Su Fei's urgency, Highness is fine. His body is too weak to absorb supplements, hence the vomiting of blood. Just rest well, no major issues, nonsense. Weakness doesn't cause vomiting blood. Do you even know how to diagnose? Su Fei snapped. Shenqing had been fine until he drank the decoction. The doctor insisted. This could happen after a long journey and a shitter injuries. Highness is indeed too weak. I'll adjust the decoction dosage. Su Fei wanted the doctor too. Checked the remaining coction, but Shenqing waved him off. Thank you, doctor. The doctor bowed and left, not returning to his quarters, but heading to Guangwu Hall, stopping at the door. He said respectfully, "Please inform the prince that I've completed his task." Mo Xiao nodded, handing him a small pouch from the prince. "Thank the prince. Rest assured, I won't breathe a word." Mo Xiao didn't care, even if the doctor talked. The prince wasn't afraid, if not for Shenqing being the Xiling heir apparent, whose death in Daosheng Lin hunting ground would disrupt the shorts, lift peace between the nations. Shenqing would already be dead. This was just a lesson for him. Let him think twice before drugging second Miss Zhou. Who knows what he intended? This lesson was too lenient. After Shenqing ordered Su Fei to close the door, he took a pills from Eggleton Nanmu box. Moments later, his abdomen churned, and he vomited black blood along with a black insect the size of a pinky nails, a goo worm. Su Fei rushed to crush the insects. "Highness, this is..." Shenqing wiped the blood from his lips. Too much to clean at once. His pale face stained with red blood made for Avazar beauty, like a bloodthirsty demon. "Don't make a sound." Su Fei was confused. "But Highness, we're envoys. How dare they poison you? They ray too arrogant." Shenqing slowly wiped his lips. It was ineffective. If things went smoothly, he might stay in Dao for a while. No need to rush. The Dao Emperor wouldn't act so obviously if not him. How Shenqing smiled sardonically. She must have reported him. "First miss, please don't make this difficult," Master said to send you back. "You're not needed Ed here in Shanglin hunting grounds. Please return to the capital with us." Qiao Yihuan frowned, but her Wanyan is still on. "Well, I'm worried about her. I'll speak to father later. He once refused to let me stay." The attendants hesitated. This was Shanglin hunting ground, where most noble families of the capital were present. They couldn't force her, but they had their orders. Xiao Ying, who had returned with the attendants, stayed silent that night. When Miss followed Ziyuan, she was left behind. After the bandits were dealt with, she couldn't catch up with the escorts and saw Ziyuan fainting and being sent back to Shanglin hunting grounds. Knowing the truth, she followed, opening and closing her mouth. Xiao Ying finally spoke again. "Divine Dr. Yun was invited by our miss. Since he's still here, Miss should stay with him." Before the attendants could respond, a female voice sounded, and 4 or 5 young women approached. The attendants stepped aside with respect fully. Qiao Yihuan eyed the leading woman, recognizing her from a banquet. Jin Mao Yun, daughter of the Minister of Works. They had been strangers, never even exchanging a word. But now she approached with a warm smile, likely because of Master Yun. "First Miss Zhou is here too. What a coincidence. We're going to dinner. If you haven't eaten, join us." Qiao Yihuan glanced at the attendants. "What a coincidence. You haven't eaten yet." Jin Mai Aoyan smiled, linking arms with her. "Wanyan has mentioned you, but we've never had a chance to talk. Strangely, I feel so close to you. Up close. Your skin is so delicate." Since returning that morning, Qiao Yuan had noticed how these same people, who once ignored her, now fawning over her like sisters, all because they thought she had invited Master Yan Miss Money flatters me. Jin Mai Aoyan laughed. So formal. Call me Mai Aoyan and I'll call you Yihuan. Yes. Kiao Yihuan nodded with a smile. The dinner was filled with unprecedented flattery. Sitting there, being praised without lifting a finger, felt both strange and novel to Kiao Yihuan. After much betting, Jin Mao Yan took her hand. Kiao. Yihuan was surprised. Mao Yan, your hands are so cold. Jin Mao Yan sighed sadly. It's a lifelong problem. I'm always cold, and no doctor has cured me. As women, I won't hide it. During my cycle, the pain is unbearable. Kiao Yihuan was knave. She stood under immediately, but she didn't respond. As women, we naturally empathize. It's not easy for us in this world. Jin Mai Aoyan paused, then forced a smile. True. I heard Wanyan was poison, and even the imperial tutor couldn't cure her. You invited divine Dr. Yun. Envy you. Yihuan, you must be good friends with him to bring him here. Another woman chimed in yes. He's reclusive, and many can't get his help. Yet you, a close friend, brought him here. So enviable. Jin Mai Aoyan looked eager. Yihuan, can you introduce me to divine Dr. Yun? If you help me, you'll be my best friend, and I'll do anything for you. Kiao Yihuan was torn. They kept calling her master. Yun's friend refusing now would raise doubts, but agreeing might not secure the consultation. Mao Yun, I want to help, but Master Yun is proud. He treats people only as he pleases. I'll ask tomorrow, but I can't promise. Jin Mao Yun was disappointed. This was Appolite refusal. Did Kiao Yihuan look down on her? Jin Mao Yun's expression changed. Thank you then. By the way, Yihuan knows the hot spring here. The Empress granted me permission to bother there. Tomorrow, join us if you're free. Kiao Yihuan was tempted. She'd heard of it, but never been. The water was naturally hot, said to be very soothing. Sure. Jin Mao Yun smiled. If Kiao Yihuan didn't introduce her tomorrow, she would hold back from embarrassing her in public. After all, Kiao Yihuan had disrespected her first. What are you doing here? The attendants waiting to escort Kiao Yihuan back to the capital greeting Ed the newcomer politely. Miss Yuan, we waiting for First Miss too. Finish dinner and send her back. Ziyuan said unhurriedly. No need, my miss has spoken to master. First Miss will stay in the hunting grounds and leave with us later. The attendants exchanged glances, but master, Ziyuan frowned. Can't you understand? My miss wants First Miss to stay. Got it? If Kiao Yihuan returned, where would Miss watch the show? The attendants fell silent at the mention of Second Miss. Ziyuan snorted and turned back to the palace lodge, only to find Prince Jing lounging in Agron tutor. Chair as Amaid poured at him tea. This servants greets your royal highness. He Yanli didn't lift his eyelids, sipping tea slowly. This tea is subpar. Would someone as picky as Kiao Wanyan likes it? The maid immediately said, this servant will make a new pot. He Yanli placed the teacup on the table with a clatter, making the maid freeze. Subpar tea? Just making a new pot? Serving inferior tea in the palace lodging honors the royal family. Were you careless? Or did you judge by status? The maid knelt tea with a thud. Mo Xiao looked at her, then at the teacup on the table. The emperor, empress, and consort Shu had topped a great tea. Even the 10th princess had white hair, silver needle. A rare treasure, those seconds. Miss Zhou was a minister's daughter. Why was she served inferior? Tea in the palace lodge? Did they assume she wouldn't make a fuss? The maid dared not admit that Sun Gong Gong, the lodge steward, had withheld the precious tea meant for Second Miss Zhou as a minister's daughter. She wouldn't cause trouble over tea, But who expected Prince Jing to be here? Drinking the tea? This servant is deserving of death. I'm new and ignorant about tea. Please forgive my mistake. Your Royal Highness. He Yanli's steep eyes half closed as he studied her. After a long pause, he said coldly, "Who is the palace lodge steward?" "The eunuch Sunday, who once served in the capital palace." The maid trembled. He Yanli didn't TCR about lowly servants. Tell him he's relieved of his duties starting today. Let him scrub chamber pots to cure his thieving habit raised in the palace. He knew its people well. You, Nux and maids lacked the guts, but those with petty power loved underhanded deeds. Yes, this servant will take his leave. A delicate moan came from the inner chamber. He Yanli almost SP rang up reflexively, but remembering she was changing dressings, he coughed Ed softly and rubbed his waist. Sitting too long, my back aches. Mo Xiao bit his lips, suppressing a laugh at the obvious excuse. This servant will check Ziyuan said, hurrying into the inner chamber. Yun Heng entered with decoction, though never met this man before. Yun Heng instinctively disliked him all a baseless physical aversion. "You are Yun Heng?" Yun Heng handed the decoction to a maid, who took it in. He replied hurried lie. He Yanli snapped. "Your sister Yun Yao has caused this king much trouble." MN Yun Heng responded nothing more. He Yanli expected a pause, but Yun Heng stayed silent, standing like a stone statue. "What is your relationship with her?" Yun Heng ignored him. Accustomed to silence, in Medicine Master Valley, others rarely lie disturbed him unless he spoke. Thus, he feared no power, remaining taciturn. What was a noble sanger to him, as he saw it. Everyone dies, living by one. Shared is the only way. Mo Xiao snapped. "The prince is asking you a question. Did you not hear?" Yun Heng glanced at him indifferently. Still silent. Mo Xiao. Why ignore them? His silence was infuriating. "Did you come because Qiao Yihuan invited you? Or for her?" Yun Heng still didn't answer. Why did outsiders talk so much? So annoying. He Yanli, Mo Xiao. Drag him out and behead him. Mutes deserve death. He wanted to kill all the mutes now. Kia Wanyan finishing dressing her wounds. Rushed out. Stop. Yun Heng came to detoxify me. Why behead him? Your Royal Highness? Yun Heng avoided trouble. Why bully him? Mo Xiao explained second miss. He disrespecting the prince by ignoring him. Kiao Wanyan. That was fair. She had wanted to kill Yun Heng for ignoring her master in medicine. Veli, who could stand his indifference? No one. Wanyan feeling better after dressing? She nodded. Your medicine is effective. The wound doesn't hurt anymore. It's Samazing lie. Soothing. Compared to Imperial Doctor's remedies. Yun Heng's were miraculous. Yun Heng smiled. Good. He Yanli scowled. It thought you couldn't speak, but you can make sounds. Yun Heng ignored him. He Yanli laughed coldly. Mo Xiao. Take him away and behead him. Mo Xiao stepped towards Yun Heng. Kia Wanyan blocked him. No? Yun Heng is just unaccustomed to social Iziang. After living alone in Medicine Master Valley, he didn't mean to be rude. She needed this medical expert in case she got hurt again. Your Royal Highness, my wound isn't healed. What would? What happens to me if you kill Yun Heng? He Yanli sneered. Since when does? You're being concerned about this king? Yun Heng said earnestly, it concerns me. Wanyan, Ikari about your injury and pray your wounded heals quickly. His tone was sincere, but everyone heard a hint of provocation. Yun Heng. The stalemate was making people furious without trying. Kiao Wanyan smiled. They're the best. Turning to He Yanli. Her smile faded, polite but distant, even impatient. This was nothing like the way she had clung to him yesterday. Yun Heng wait outside for me. Yun Heng nodded, ignoring He Yanli as he left. He Yanli's face darkened, his noble features frosty. Kiao Wanyan said, "I heard you stood up for me regarding the tea." "Your Royal Highness." He Yanli retorted, "Not for you, but for royal dignity." She stepped closer, smiling. "I'm still happy even so." His expression softened Ed slightly. "You find joy in trivialities, childish." Her smile vanished. "Since when does my childishness concern you?" "Your Royal Highness." He Yanli? Kiao Wanyan never tolerated grievances. As a child, when Abigail bumped into her and stole her purse, she had the beggars thrown into rivers and kept there for half a day. An Arby woman chided her, saying suffering losses is a blessing. Why hold a grudge now that the purse was back? Young as she was, Kiao Wanyan overawed the woman, merely saying, "If suffering losses is a blessing, you should suffer more, enjoy it for a lifetime." Before walking away, now she still wouldn't grievances herself. He Yanli pinched her cheek at her insolence. "Kiao Wanyan, who gave you the gall to speaking to this king like that? Get hurts." She covered her wounds, feigning timidness. He Yanli arched eyebrow. "This king touched at your face, not your arms." She quibbled, "When you pinched my face, I need to raise my arms to push you away." Raising my the arm tugs the wound. It just yelled in advance. He Yanli check led. "Can't you use the other arm?" "The other arm is out," she said seriously. Mo Xiao burst into laughter, then bowed out. Second miss was incredible. He Yanli released her soft cheeks, pushing her forehead with his index finger. "Nonsense." She asked, "Why did you come?" "Your Royal Highness." He sat, getting to the point. "This king was passing by and thoughts to tell you. I depart for Shijiao camp tomorrow to march to Longxi. Consider these days my favor. We're having until I return, cause trouble. And this king will make you wish you were dead." Kiao Wanyan ignored his threats. "Longxi? The border with Xilings. Why march there? War. Why Longxi?" He Yanli Tor let his thumb ring. "The Xiling princess is dead. I know that." A script letter was found on her body, blank. But special methods reveal writing. She frowned. Surely the hunting grounds. Assassins were in Xiling stewing? She knew from novels that the assassins were remnants of the previous dynasty, but He Yanli smartened to Longxi and the secret letter implied the emperor would blame Xiling. Novels focused on Kiao Yihuan, so details were vague. But she recalled Dao and Xiling didn't go to war. If Xiling sent the assassins, why kill their own princess? He Yanli said flatly, to make it convincing, as an envoy killed in Dao. Will Xiling demand justice? He added, process doesn't matter, only the result. She mused. So Xiling nobles will be detained in Dayu? He nodded. Yes, Shenqing is now Ahistich prince. Kiao Wanyan barely hid her smile. Ahistich prince, staying in Dayu. In the capital, she could repay him for trying to drug her if she hadn't acted quickly. Who knew how he would have abused her? The thought of dying at his hands, skinned no less, was horrifying. Don't reach to teach Shenqing Allison as Ahistich. The war between our nations is uncertain. If anything happens to him in Dayu, the culprit will be held accountable. War was impossible. The emperor just wanted Ahistich. Royal spies would investigate the true assassins. But blaming Xiling gave Dao an advantage. She pouted, but he tried to kill me. If he's in the capital, I'll constantly fear for my life. She complained. Your Royal Highness is heartless. Do you truly dislike me so much that you ignore my safety? He gently gestured for her to come closer, but she turned away like a petulant child. Stubborn little things, he approached, only to find her turn her back. Her slender shoulders looked so frail, he could make her cry without effort. Yet she had such a strong temper. Dislike? This king thinks you've forgotten how you treated me. It's not dislike, but hatred. She scoffed. Hatred? He was lying to himself. But if I hadn't he treated you so, would you hold military power now? What I said and did, maybe it was encouragement, not humiliation. She was openly wicked. A pure black heart in a porcelain, doll face. Anyone else would be furious at such sophistry. But she held his hands. He wanted to shake her off, but fear tugging her wounds, so he let her. I'll wait for your safe return. Your Royal Highness. He yanly sheered in explica, black Hamed at her soft words. His mind is going blank. She watched his dazed expression, clear-headed as ever. He yanly left in a daze, not even noticing Yun Hang passing him. Mo Xiao, standing at the door, heard it all. The prince is usually decisive. Arcane flustered around Miss Second. One word made his heart race. Two made him dizzy. Three left him blank. In Biming City, he shouldn't they believe the prince's vows too? Make her wish she were dead, or that those who are Trey trust should die. If the hair on her head was harmed, the prince would kill the offender. Inside, Kia Wanyan's voice drifted out. I'm weak. Feed me. Mo Xiao glanced at the prince, whose vanished smile confirmed his thoughts. News that he Yanli had marched to Longxi spread throughout Shanglin hunting grounds, along with the claim that the forest assassination had been Xiling's doing. The Xiling heir apparent, recently treated with respect, had in the blink of an eye become a hostage prince under house arrest. At noon, Gurla Sheng hurried towards the palace lodge, encountering Jin Maiaoyan and others. Where are you rushing to in such a hurry? A Ang woman beside Jin Mao Yun asked. Curiously, Gurla Sheng looked both excited and expectant. Sure lie she had good news. Yet the hunting ground was shrouded in gloom, with everyone discussing how Xilings had Sacred Apado assassinate the crown prince. What good news could she have? Gurla Sheng stopped, smiling. I'm hurrying to the palace lodge. And where the palace lodge was, emperor and empress resided, along with the crown prince and princesses, without an invitation. It was hard for ordinary people to enter. Gur Licheng's father held Alo rankings post. How could she go there? Jin Maiaoyan spoke up. What for? Gurla Sheng beamed. Thanks to first Miss Kiao, I've been frail since childhood, so I begged her to introduce me to Divine Dr. Yun for a diagnosis. Now I'm going to see him. Where he's staying in the palace lodge. Jin Mao Yun's face changed. Kia Yuan agreed. To have Divine Dr. Yun treat you? Gurla Sheng nodded. Yes. We've known each other since the flower goddess temple. First Miss Zhou is kind. She agreed as soon as I asked. I must go now. She and Divine Dr. Yun are waiting. Farewell. Watching Gurla Sheng leave, the others noted Jin Mao Yun's gloomy expression. When Jin Mao Yun had approached Kiao Yihuan yesterday, Kiao Yihuan hadn't he given a clear answer, claiming Divine Dr. Yun treated people only as he pleased. But now Gurla Sheng said Kiao Yihuan had agreed immediately. Clearly, Jin Maiaoyan wasn't being taken seriously. Jin Maiaoyan said coldly, I'm visiting the Empress. Enjoy the flowers, no? One argued as the Empress's niece, though not by the same mother. Jin Mao Yun was favored and could enter the palace lodge, though claiming to visit the Empress. She actually turned towards Kiao Wan Yan's lodge. Kiao Yihuan had declined her morning invitation to the hot spring, saying she needed to visit Kiao Wanyan so she had postponed it to the afternoon. Now that Qiao Yuan was with Qiao Wanyan, Guer Lisheng must be heading there too. Qiao Wanyan Long ed on a couch as Qiao Yihuan watched Yun Heng prepare to diagnose Guer Lisheng. Qiao Yihuan wanted to say something, but Fi read, losing face if Yun Heng refused in front of Qiao Wanyan, so she swallowed her words. Torn, she had promised Jin Mao Yun and came here to try her luck. If successful, great. If not, she could say Yun Heng treated people only as pleased as he. Not that she was unfamiliar with him. Since arriving, Yun Heng had only diagnosed the Emperor, Empress, and Qiao Wanyan, adjusting their daily tonic prescriptions. He disliked wasting time on others, but he would entrefuse Wanyan. As request, if she asked, the illness must be complex, but how could he know her true purpose? Yun Heng frowned as he felt Guer Lisheng to spulse through a handkerchief, then looked at her flushed face. Frowning deeper, Miss, are you truly unwell? Guer Lisheng nodded. Yes. Master Yun, I can't sleep at night. And when I do, I have constant nightmares. I'm weak. Even as light chills makes me sick. Yun Heng withdrew his hand. But your pulse is as strong as an ox. Not weak as you say. Guer Lisheng. Maybe I got better this morning. She stammered, then nodded firmly. Yes. I drank a big bowl of brown sugar ginger. Jujube tea. It must have replenished me. Qiao Wanyan SC oft. What magic tea is that? More effective than Yun Heng. Guer Lisheng's face turned red. Not from shyness, but embarrassment. Qiao Wanyan added, lunch is coming. Stay and eat with us. Sister. Qiao Yihuan held back. Shifi read losing face if rejected in front of Qiao Wanyan and Guer Lisheng. If she failed, Qiao Wanyan would surely spread the word, humiliating her. It was safer to tell Jin Mao Yun that Yun Heng had refused, implying no lack of familiarity. No thanks. It made plans with Miss Money from the Ministry of Works to bother in the hot spring. I won. Tea disturb you. Rest well. I'll visit. Later, Qiao Yihuan left hurried lie, encountering Jin Mao Yun at the lodge gate. Miss Jin, startled. Her mind raced with fears of her lies being exposed. Why are you here? Miss Jin Mai Aoyan smiled, linking arms with her. Waiting for you. I paid my respects to the Empress and knew you. We're here. Let's go to the hot spring. Relieved, Qiao Yuan replied okay. The hot spring palace lays east of the lodge. Ordinary noble ladies couldn't enter, but Jin Mao Yun Simamonk's permission allowed. Mists were led inside like a fairyland. Veiled in gauze, Qiao Yuan founded. It's novel, but tried to hide her awe. Miss Jin, the water here is too hot. Allow me to escort you to Jinyu Pavilion, a maid said. Jin Mai Aoyan stood by the pool, watching steam rise, then walked behind Qiao Yihuan and kicked her in. Scalding water splashed as Qiao Yihuan screaming echoed. Xiao Ying stood on the shore, horrified as Qiao Yihuan was pushed into the steaming pool, her skin reddening instantly, reacting. Xiao Ying jumped in to pull her out, only to recoil at the searing heat. Like falling into a boiling pot, her legs trembled, struggling to endure as she inched towards Qiao Yihuan. The pool was shallow, reaching only to the chest, but Qiao Yihuan thrown in flailed wildly, scalding herself bright red. Help! Help! Save me! WWE rescue me! But since Jin Mao Yun had pushed her, no one would offend Jin Mao Yun for Qiao Yihuan, especially after Guer Lisheng's surlier words. Qiao Yihuan's fate was no surprise. Jin Mai Aoyan looked down at the embarrassment, disheveled Qiao Yihuan. Her face cold. Gone was the sister lie warmth. Miss. Kiao walked careless and fell into the hot spring, burning herself red. What should we do if she scalded? Others echoed her lies, too afraid to contradict. Xiaoying dragged Kiao Yihuan towards the shore, but burly nannies blocked their way. Kiao Yihuan was confused. Jin now. Yun had just been warm and friendly, promising to hang out after. Returning to the capital, why this? A nanny jeered. My miss kindly invited you to bathe, yet you want to leave so soon? How disrespectful. Xiaoying snap let us through. The water is scalding, Miss skin is red. Can you bear the responsibility if she's spurned? Responsibility, Jin Mao Yun sneered. A lowly concubine's daughter. Public lie can ed by the emperor. How dare you act high and mighty here? The nanny shoved Kiao Yihuan, who pulled Xiaoying down with her, splashing water on nearby ladies. Jin Mai Aoyan wiped a drop from her cheek, sneering, don't fear the burns. Everyone knows. Divine Dr. Yen is here. Ask him to treat you. What are a few burns? Asterisk, aren't you close to him? Asterisk, she dealt this wretched learning. The price of offending her. Kiao Yihuan felt fiery, snakes burrowing into her skin. Her mind blank from the searing pain. She tried to escape, but the shore was blocked. She was too weak, overwhelmed by the burning pain. She begged Miss Money, please let me out. If I've wronged you, please let me explain. After a nod from Jin Mai Aoyan, the nannies let them up. Kiao Yihuan's exposed skin was bright red, with blisters in places. Tears mixed with pool water streamed down her face. Jin Mai Aoyan grabbed her chin, forcing eye contact. How? Do you like the hot spring, sister? As fun as you imagined? Kiao Yihuan wept silently. Jin Mao Yun felt no pity, only satisfaction at Kiao Yihuan's misery. How dare a concubine's daughter looking down on her? Recommending Yun Heng to Azek's ranking. Official's daughter, but not to her? Unforgivable. Raising an eyebrow, Jin Mai Aoyan asked. Speechless. Don't want to talk? Looking down on me? Though her tone was gentle, her haughty expression made the threat clear. Of course not. Miss Jin, the hot spring is a very nice and fun. Jin Mai Aoyan smiled. Pleased. Good. I was worried you wouldn't enjoy your first outing with us. She paused. But remember what to say. You fell in by accident. We had nothing to do with it. Kiao Yihuan nodded, too afraid to contradict. Her wet, light-colored clothes clung to her, revealing outlines. Anony whispered to Jin Maoyan, who looked at Kiao Yihuan's shoulders, sensing their gaze. Kiao Yihuan shined red as the nanny tore her clothes, exposing an ugly scar. What's that? Such a hideous scar. An arrow wound? Disgusting. No wonder she's son-married. Who would want an Osgard wife? The ladies stepped back in disgust, their words like knives. Kiao Yihuan wanted to die rather than face this. Xiaoying hastily tried to pull Kiao Yihuan's clothes up, but the torn fabric could untie the Hideo's arrow scar, clenching her fists until her knuckles turned white. Kiao Yihuan could endure anything, except her deepest secret being exposed. Enough! She shrieked. Everyone fell silent. Jin Mao Yan frowned. Even imperial doctors in the capital could fade such a scar, if not erase it entirely. This scar was clearly untreated. Asterisk Kiao Yihuan claims to be close to Divine Dr. Yen, who can heal any wounds. How else to explain this? Doubts arose. Was the rumor true? If so, why the scar? If not, why did Kiao Wanyan confirm Yun Heng came at Kiao Yihuan's invitation? Studying Kiao Yihuan, Jin Mao Yun decided to verify the truth. She took a cape from Anony and draped it over Kiao Yihuan. It was just a joke. I'll order everyone to keep quiet for the Kiao family's sake. Her words made sense. As a daughter of Kiao, Kiao Yihuan's disgrace would offend the family. Kiao Yihuan remained stone-faced. Help her change in the vacant room, Jin Maoyan ordered. Once Kiao Yihuan left, Jin Maoyan coldly told her attendants, "Watch her, don't let her leave." Instead of taking the shortest path, Jin Maoyan hurried through a crowded areas, feigning urgency. "Where are you rushing money?" someone asked. "To the palace lodge for divine Dr. Yun," she replied. At the mention of Yun Heng, all eyes turned. Everyone in Shanglin Hunting Ground wanted his treatment, or at least to see the legendary doctor. "Who's ill?" Jin Maoyan sighed. Miss Kiao Yihuan slipped into a scalding hot spring while we bath Ed. Her skin is burned. "Go quickly," someone urged. "She's friends with divine Dr. Yan. He'll help her." Nodding, Jin Maoyan left, followed by curious onlookers, eager to catch a glimpse of Yun Heng. "Guer Lisheng, you did well. Take this jade hairpin," Kiao Wanyun said, handing her a warm-hued lantern jade hairpin. Guer Lisheng's eyes lit up. "Thank you." "Second, miss. I'm honored to serve you. Command me anytime. I'll give my all." Kiao Wanyun smiled. Asterisk so easily. Bought by a jade hairpin. Asterisk. "You have robust chi and blood. You're capable," she said, making Guer Lisheng blush. "No wonder I have so much energy." Asterisk, she thought. Disappointed her frailty hadn't. T1 Yun Heng's attention. Ziyuan entered. "Miss, the crown prince is here." Kiao Wanyun immediately reclined on a couch. Guer Lisheng swiftly covered her with a blankets and stood aside. As Ziyuan and she courtesy Ed, Ziyu silenced them, with fingers to his lips as Yun Heng entered with bird's nest soup. Ziyu visited often, but Kiao Wanyun always pretended to rest, sensing she avoided him. He couldn't fathom why. Just then, Jin Maoyan arrived. "Bow to the crown prince," she said, then explained. "In need divine Dr. Yun, Miss Kiao Yihuan burned herself in the hot spring." Ziyu frowned. "Burned?" Kiao Wanyun sat up. "How careless. Yun Heng, can you?" "No," Yun Heng interrupted. Asterisk Wanyun can refuse. "But I can." Asterisk upon hearing this, everyone turned to look at him. Jin Maoyan in particular. Upon hearing such a decisive refusal, became increasingly suspicious of whether Kiao Yihuan and divine Dr. Yun were truly friends. Master Yun, savings a life surpasses building a Sivan. The story pagoda. Would you please go? As the crown prince of Deu, Ziyu stood second only to the emperor. Yun Heng was well aware of his status, but at the moment, he truly had no desire to treat someone who had once harmed Wanyun. Kiao Wanyun rubbed her fingertips. Casting a glance at Ziyu, she stepped lightly in front of Yun Heng. "Yun Heng, if sister has burns that damage her skin, she'll surely be upset in the future. After all, she is still my sister." Yun Heng's voice was gentle. "I can promise you anything, but not this." Lu Jinnu, standing outside the door, found this intriguing. The man who appeared so agreeable turned out to have a tongue as venomous as arsenic when faced with people or matters he disliked. True lie. It's the quiet dog that bites. At present, he wouldn't even waste time going to see Kiao Yihuan, let alone prescribing medicine for her. Yun Heng added, "There are so many physicians in Shang Lin hunting grounds. Why must I treat a burn?" Jin Maoyan asked politely. "But divine Dr. Yun, everyone says you were invited by Sister Yihuan too. Detoxified Sister Wanyun. Why won't you treat Sister Yihuan's burns?" Even Kiao Wanyun had never denied this claim. However, she clearly saw a trace of impatience and even disgusting in Yun Heng's expression. Yun Heng had stayed in the palace compound all this time, and the servants here were tight-lipped, never saying a word out of place. He was unaware that people thought he had been invited by Qiao Yihuan. That late night, Qiao Yihuan had come to Medicine Master Valley. Wanyan's shade pendant with. He had seen it on Wanyan before, and since the token was confirmed, he had followed her. If it weren't for Wanyan, Qiao Yihuan would and they've even had the chance to enter Medicine Master Valley. How could it being said that he was invited by her? It's a rumor. I'm not familiar with her. Although Jin Maoyun had already guessed as much, she was still astonished to hear Yun Heng said it himself. If it was Arimer, how had it spread so widely? Yun Heng added, if she hadn't come to me with Wanyan's token, I would and they've come here. This was stated clearly, leaving no room for Qiao Yi Huan to argue even if she tried. Jin Maoyun suddenly fell silent and looked at Qiao Wanyan. Instant Lai Lizi Ang that she had wanted to use her to teach Qiao Yihuan Allison. Being used was what she hated most, and Qiao Wanyan was truly detestable. Qiao Wanyan noticed her gaze and merely smiled at her. The smile flashed by so quickly that no one noticed her cunning expression. In that case, please ask the physicians from the Imperial Medical Academy to examine. Sister, if the burn is delayed, it may take longer to heal. Qiao Wanyan said with concern. He Vu nodded slightly. Jing Yuan, go and invite Imperial Physician Wang. Jing Yuan immediately nodded and withdrew. Qiao Wanyan could see that Hezi wanted to go to the hot spring palace but hadn't said so. The first woman he had feelings for, and the one who was supposed to be his perfect match even after so many things had happened. Before they became enemies, it was only natural to be worried upon learning that the other was injured. There was no need for Qiao Wanyan to be angry. She was just judging Rashan's allies. What to do next? What to do? Such a good shows shouldn't waste it, of course. She had to see it with her own eyes. I am concerned. So I'd like to go with Miss Jin to see sister. How can that be? Heezy, you said. Your arm injury has healed yet. How can you go out? Qiao Wanyan shook her head. It's fine. Yun Heng's medicine is very effective, and the wound no longer hurts. Besides, I don't need to use my arms when going out. I just need to be careful. Yun Heng remained silent throughout, only picking up a cloak and draping it over her shoulders. His movements were gentle and cautious, as if the women before him were a treasure in his palm, for fear that to hurt or touch her. Watching this scene, Jin Maoyun stood under. Yun Heng wasn't familiar with Qiao Yihuan, and he hadn't come to Shanglin hunting grounds as everyone said, invited by Qiao Yihuan. On the contrary, Yun Heng was very familiar with Qiao Wanyan. Not only that, but his behavior towards Qiao Wanyan was clearly filled with infinite tolerance and affection. He watched this scene coldly, his face calm, but the jealousy in his heart grew like a fine. He didn't what this emotion was, only that he was very unhappy now. Drink the medicinal soup first, and I'll wait for you outside. You asked. Didn't you say you wouldn't go? Why do you want to go now? Yun Heng said calmly. Wanyan's injury hasn't healed, so naturally I'm worried about her going out. But if she wants to go out, I just need to accompany her well too. Prevent accidents. After speaking, he nodded slightly to the crown prince and left the palace. Heeziu frowned slightly and followed suit. The hall fell silent. Jin Maoyun walked up to Qiao Wanyan and said in a deep voice, Second miss. You're so skillful. You actually used me. Kiao Wanyan didn't he speak. Just picked up the medicinal soup and drank it. The bitter taste of the soup filled her mouth. She frowned slightly, took 2 pieces of fruit from canned, dyed, gourlisheng and put them in her mouth, which dispelled some of the bitterness. Ziwan frowned. What was this Miss Gur doing? Why was she taking over her job? Are you deaf? The Empress is my aunt. If I tell her about this, let's see how she punishes you. Kiao Wanyan finally looked at her, the corners of her lips lifting into his smiles, like a spring breeze brushing across a calm lake. It raised ripples. Incredibly beautiful, she whispered. Idiot's so easy to deceive. With that, she walked past her and out of the hall. The fragrance that leaves a lingering filled the air and gradually dissipated. Jin Mao Yun gritted her teeth and took 2 or 3 steps to catch up with her. But with the crown prince and Yun Heng around, she wasn't sure and didn't dare to say more. She swallowed her anger, feeling extremely aggrieved. Gur Lisheng followed behind, looking at the people in front and thinking that there was going to be a good show next. Just then Yan Yao came running with a bird cage in her hand. Sister Yan Yan, I caught a talking bird for you. Where are you all going? Gur Lisheng smiled and explained for Kiao Wanyan. And then Yan Yao was also eager to go along.